So my break between Phase 1 and Phase 2 was a bit longer than I anticipated. And by break, I mean my break between my review of the Phase 1 Marvel films and of the Phase 2 Marvel films. But don't worry, we're going to be back on track. I'm John Barry, and today I'm reviewing Iron Man 3. So this is the first film in Phase 2. The previous film was Marvel's The Avengers, so I reviewed that one actually before Captain America's The First Avenger, just so one fell on the day before 4th of July. Did that on purpose. But yeah, so it's, as I said, it's been a little bit, but I'm back. Iron Man 3 was directed by Shane Black, and the screenwriters were Drew Pugh and Shane Black as well. And then the producer was Kevin Feige. So, Iron Man 3, the overarching story is dealing with Iron Man's response to the events of Marvel's The Avengers. So, dealing with everything that happened. Aliens, something truly out of his control. He is in the Iron Man, Tony Stark in the film is dealing with PTSD, and he kind of needs to overcome it to save the president from basically a person going crazy. That's probably the best way of going at it. And this is the one that involves the infamous the Mandarin, who was actually not the Mandarin. And guess what? I thought he was an okay villain. Both the fake one was actually, I think, a bit better than the real one, because the fake one is like playing a part while playing a part. It's actually kind of an interesting thing from a storytelling perspective, that the real Mandarin, would hire somebody to pretend to be the Mandarin. That's actually kind of interesting. But I was never into the actual comics for Marvel, so for the comic Mandarin, I have no basis for. So I only know the Mandarin as in the MCU, and I guess, okay, villain, somebody Tony Stark cited, his past mistakes coming to bite him in the future is basically how it goes. And there's a bunch of, story stuff. The idea of him being able to remote control an Iron Man suit is introduced, and we actually see that in later films, including Spider-Man Homecoming, and I think in a few others. And we get to see remote controlled suits in elsewhere as well, including literally drones in Age of Ultron, I believe. But ultimately, though, is him having to deal with basically PTSD and overcome it. Granted, I don't think another traumatic experience would be the best way of actually overcoming PTSD. I'm just saying. But it's not the slap in the face way of dealing with something like that, which is literally like the worst way to treat somebody with PTSD. It's only slightly worse. Another traumatic experience is only slightly better. So I think what actually helps Tony in this movie is not so much the new traumatic experience, but figuring out what he values and what he needs to focus on to help him overcome it. And actually, there is a line where he says he probably should have some meds to deal with his anxiety and PTSD in one scene as well. And then there's also a bit of a mystery story as well of figuring out who the Mandarin is and what his scheme is. That is kind of overarching. My opinions on the film, I would say, it's just kind of a generic MCU superhero film. I honestly don't think there's nothing special. There was, on the mental health issue, other films I think deal with it a bit better. But I guess this is kind of how Tony Stark will handle it anyhow, just thinking he can overcome any problem that comes before him. That is kind of Tony Stark methodology, and that's something that he needs to overcome. And actually, I think it's in his character development is Iron Man 3 is probably important. Because it's showing him he's now truly moving from basically being a cocky asshole to the hero that everyone will remember him as, and does in Baby Yoda just fell in Spider-Man Far From Home. That is he is not yet the hero everybody in here will remember him as, but he's halfway there. He's doing that transition. And I think it's in Avengers Age of Ultron where it's truly cemented That's like, at the end of the film, it's realized he's there. He's got a few last hurdles to overcome, but he has become the hero people will remember him as. Not the billionaire playboy genius that he was known as, but the hero. See, that is, I think, his arc, going from basically billionaire playboy genius that everyone associates as basically as somebody who parties and drinks and does whatever he wants, to a hero who looks out for the world's, or guess everyone really looks out for everyone. That is the story Tony Stark is on, and he will become that. Iron Man 1 and 2 is him moving away from, the start. This film and the Avengers is him basically in the transition, and then I think Age of Ultron and subsequent appearances is him truly starting to embrace the role as the hero. He just had some hiccups along the way in being the hero, because he still hadn't fully overcome his character flaws until the end. And even then, he still has them, but he has bettered himself in spite of them, is probably a good way of putting it. But these are just my thoughts on Iron Man 3. What are yours? I would love to hear from you in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed my review, please be sure to leave a like or dislike it if you didn't enjoy my review. Also, be sure to check me out on social media. The links for my Facebook and my Twitter are in the description, as are the links for my Discord server and my Patreon page. If you aren't already, please subscribe to my channel and feel free to check out either the video or the playlist on screen now. And as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. Have a good one. Bye!